Welcome to Polandball News Network. My name is Koleye. Aaron and I are here in the PNN studio to bring you the most important recent news. In a world where entertainment masquerades as news, and news outlets report only on things that bring in advertising dollars, why not just give up and trust us at PNN regardless of what we say? It's certainly easier than trying. Our top story. The small Caribbean island nation of Haiti has collapsed into disarray. Early in March, armed gangs stormed two prisons, helping nearly 4,700 inmates escape. The gangs demanded the resignation of Prime Minister and acting President Ariel Henry, himself a shady figure. After a government-imposed 72-hour state of emergency failed to curb the spreading violence and chaos, Henry announced that he would resign. The instability in Haiti is part of a viral marketing campaign by Fox to revive the hit crime drama Prison Break, which ran from 2002 to 2017. This is absolutely true because we at PNN would never make light of the suffering of a chronically unstable and impoverished nation. Last week, the Pentagon's UFO office, the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, released a report once again stating that it has found no evidence of alien technology anywhere on Earth. UFO conspiracy idiots, however, used the Pentagon's denial to instead confirm that every single grainy photo of some unspecified blur is actually an alien spacecraft full of 4-foot-tall grays coming to probe our buttholes with some kind of 4-dimensional space thermometer. In earthly news, French President Emmanuel Macron has channeled his inner Napoleon and made a series of statements that France is not opposed to sending French troops to Ukraine under certain conditions. Specifically, Macron suggested that France could deploy troops to Ukraine if Russian forces began to advance toward the Ukrainian capital Kyiv or the Black Sea port of Odessa. Macron's comment that French support for Ukraine has, quote, no red lines, end quote, is remarkable, given that fully 1/3 of the French flag is a red line. Macron's comment sparked a flurry of both supporting and dissenting comments in European capitals. The Baltic states and Poland have expressed tepid support for some kind of intervention in Ukraine in some scenarios. But Germany, Spain, Italy, and the United Kingdom all reiterated that they have no plans to send ground troops to Ukraine. You know, you'd think that with all these cool new toys defense manufacturers have pumped out since the last World War, all of these European powers would be more eager to try them out on each other. I mean, they've done it twice before, right? In other Ukraine-related news, a Russian missile struck 300 to 400 meters from Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy and Greek Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis as they met in Odessa. Russian dictator Vladimir Putin could be heard cursing under his breath that Zelenskyy had escaped unharmed. Angela Merkel, the former German chancellor, could also be heard cursing under her breath that a Greek prime minister also went unharmed.
In other news, the Russian Federation has issued another threat of a nuclear annihilation against the West. This time the threat comes in response to the Ukrainian bombings of the Crimean Bridge. Wait, no, that was last week's nuclear threat. The Russians have threatened to nuke everyone this time due to crushing sanctions. Shit, that was last month's nuclear threat. Why are they threatening to nuke us again? They really are boy who cried wolfing it, aren't they? It's getting real effing hard to tell these nuclear threats apart at this point. Oh, that's right, I remember. It was because of the NATO exercise they are conducting near Russia's border. Yes, that was it. That's why they're threatening to kill us this time. Operation Steadfast Defender, as NATO is calling it, has the Russians a bit annoyed, and it is hard to blame them. I would also be sweating buckets if I knew that NATO was having their biggest exercise ever in the house next door to me. With the mighty strength of 31 countries boasting over 90,000 soldiers and over 50 warships and more than 80 jets, it seems that NATO is preparing to have the best paintball match in all of history. I've also been told when evening rolls around they're going to be practicing their nighttime fighting skills by switching over to laser tag, an area of warfare that the Russians are notoriously weak at. Now, I advise you all to not be afraid when the Russian government issues a few more threats of nuclear holocaust during these exercises. You know, it's par for the course at this point. In a few more days they'll have issued more death threats than they actually have nuclear weapons. As they say, Americans like to say howdy, the Poles like to say kurva, and Russians like to say, if you don't stop doing that right now, I'll wipe your miserable existence off the face of the planet.
Israel and Hamas continue to kill each other as hopes for a ceasefire collapsed before restarting again, before collapsing again, before restarting again, before collapsing again, before restarting. The United States also recently began airdropping food aid to desperate Gazans. In unfortunate news, one report suggested that a food crate's parachute failed to open, crushing 5 people as it landed. Of course, it's hard to verify basically anything that's happening in Gaza other than the fact that both the Israeli Defense Forces and Hamas continue to fight, so we've decided instead to report that the Israeli-Palestine issue has been solved once and for all. We will be providing no further details on this most miraculous and momentous of events. Nikki Haley, the former governor of South Carolina and former United States ambassador to the United Nations under former President Donald Trump, suspended her campaign for president on Wednesday, March 6th, one day after being defeated by her former boss, Donald Trump, in a string of Republican primary contests on Super Tuesday. Haley, who once worked for Donald Trump, opted not to endorse him, a move in line with the criticism that she has levied at him after no longer working for him. Did I mention that she used to work for him? That's right. Nikki Haley used to work for Donald Trump. She'll eventually endorse him. Coward.
Polska here again for weather. This week is Dildo. Dildo is town in Canadian province of Newfoundland and Labrador Retriever dog. This week, Dildo is very cold, like someone put in freezer before using. Monday through Wednesdays is mostly rain and snow. Thursday is clouds for most of sky. Saturday is snow again. Sunday is rain and snow. They sure are liking white stuff in Dildo. Weather this week is harsh, but do not be down, as there are sayings in Dildo. In a world of deal don'ts, be a deal doer. Back to studio.
Thanks for that, Poland. Speaking of Labradors, scientists at Yale have successfully tested a new cancer vaccine in dogs, nearly doubling the 12-month survival rate for dogs with some types of cancer. PNN received a statement from a group of anonymous countries expressing concern that this may harm the dog meat trade by reducing breeding rates. Now to sports. The 2024 Summer Olympics are only a few months away. The Games will be held in Paris, marking the 3rd time the city has hosted the Games. As part of the City of Lights preparations for the Games, the French government has undertaken a large effort to clean up the River Seine. Expressing confidence in the cleanup effort, President Emmanuel Macron even said that he would take a swim in the river. What he didn't say was that he would also be accompanied by a team of doctors, be inoculated against every known and several unknown diseases, and send a body double in a spacesuit to do the actual swimming. We're sure it's safe, though. Thanks again for joining us for this edition of Polandball News. We'll be back with more news soon. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so that you never miss our videos.